In a no opt-out classroom, a verbalized or unspoken "I don't know" is cause for action. Here's how it works. If you ask a question and a student begins by being unable or unwilling to answer, your goal is to end the exchange with the student giving the right answer, even if this means telling them the answer and having them repeat it back to you.
If I were in the 100,000th place, then how many times greater is the 1,000,000th place than the 100,000th place? Nora.
I don't know.
Okay. Alberto, how many times greater is the 1,000,000th place than the 100,000th place?
It's 10 times greater.
All right. Nor how many times greater is the 1,000,000th place than the 100,000th place?
10 times greater.
Very nice.
Once you feel comfortable with the concept of no opt-out, try asking questions to clarify the concept, giving cues that help to guide the student to the correct answer.
Okay guys, sometimes, always, and never, right? Sometimes true, always true, never true. I want you to think about these number situations, okay? So when I read this card, I want you to tell me, is it sometimes true for this number set? Is it always true for this number set? Or is it never true for this number set? Okay, irrational numbers are square roots. Montel?
I don't know.
So let's define irrational numbers. What are irrational numbers? What have we talked about in our definitions in our notes? We've talked about irrational numbers. What do those numbers look like when we put them in decimal format? Okay.
It never terminates.
Never terminate. So it never stops. What else?
You're not repeating?
Okay. It doesn't repeat. It doesn't have a pattern. Let's come back to this. So we have they don't terminate, they never stop, and they never repeat. So square roots. Let's talk about square roots. What is a square root? Montel?
A square root is like, say you have 9, square root of 9 is 3, so.
Excellent. Square root of 9 is 3. That's a perfect square. If I have 9 tiles, I can make a perfect square on my desktop. Yes? Okay, so let's go back to the question. Irrational numbers are square roots. Sometimes true, always true, never true. Montel, what do you think?
Sometimes true.
Sometimes true. Can you back up your answer?
Because if you have like an irrational number, it can't be a fraction, but like the square root of a number can be a fraction. Like how it said the square root of 9 is 3. 3 can be a fraction, and so sometimes true is my answer.
Very good.
You can always enhance the rigor of the no opt-out strategy by asking an explanation for why after the correct answer is given. Finally, no opt-out can sometimes feel a little uncomfortable for both students and teachers. However, when the strategy is deployed consistently and unilaterally across an entire campus or district, it begins to create a culture of excellence.